Sustainable Development Goals. First thing. The second is that under the direction of the Secretary General, there is an ongoing project in APPU to convert all the classrooms into smart classrooms, which will mean that sessions like this or anything of operational importance can be done in a hybrid manner if there is a situation demanding so, or otherwise many people can participate in the classrooms in a hybrid manner. You can call in experts to teach you from UPU, other sources like universities, etc., etc. So there is an idea to start smart classrooms in APPC to include more participants from the region, right? So today you are witnessing both of them. Today we will be initiating the Smart Classroom Initiative as well as the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Alright? So before we go ahead with the session, I would like to request the Secretary General of Asian Pacific Postal Union and the Director of Asian Pacific Postal College, Dr. Vinay Prakash Singh, to give a few words to the classroom regarding both the initiatives, please. Thank you.
Please come. So, good afternoon, friends. Hope you had good lunch. Not feeling sleepy. So, Mr. Sandeep has given you brief background why we are here this afternoon in this session. And first and foremost, let me tell you that this experiment we are trying to try it out today, and if it is okay, then we will perhaps have this in all our classrooms. It is called what we describe as smart classroom. It has an interactive screen, and this screen can work for both PowerPoint presentations as a whiteboard, and if you have hybrid sessions, maybe people joining on Zoom or MS Teams, you can also interact with them. So many things are there. So I request each one of you to be quite attentive when Mr. Sandeep takes this trial class, and if you have any feedback on the screen, on the device which we are using, you are free to tell us, so that when we really bite finally as part of our project, it should be a good thing for future, so that, because people from all countries of the region will be coming, and if we have this model in all the classrooms, I think it should work well. So this is one, and the next one, Mr. Sandeep has already mentioned that Sustainable Development Goals 2030. This is an international agenda of United Nations. It was adopted in 2015, and it is primarily, if I can tell you, I think these are 17 SDGs, and out of 17 Sustainable Development Goals, post office has a good role to play in, I think, around 10-12. So I can only say that post offices, the entire postal sector, has a great role to play in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, both at regional level, national level, and international level. So with this course of yours which you are undergoing, we are planning to have one dedicated session in each course in future on Sustainable Development Goals. Because I know most of you may be aware, but some of you may not be aware of these goals. So we should always know that what all posts are doing internationally, nationally and regionally in achieving these goals. So with these few words, I hand over the session and mic to Sandeep. He will take you further, and please do give us honest feedback whether it's good or bad, whether we should go for it or not. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we will finish the classroom by 2 o'clock. We will hardly have 50 minutes. After the session, the terminal dues people will go back to your classes. There will be an online session by Philip from UPU, and the EMS people will go on with your project presentation, right? And we intend to make it interactive. We would like to have your opinions, and there is nothing new that you might not know, but we will be just brushing up things that you already know of, right? And please open up and speak during the classrooms, right? And please don't use phone in between. Alright, with that we go ahead. Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. every international organization working in any sphere like WCO, UPU, ITU, etc., we all are bound to follow the UN Sustainable Development Goals, right? And same is the case with APPU also, being an international organization and a restricted union of the UPU, right? Before we go ahead, just give us your understanding about APPU. How many members do we have? 32? 32 what? Is it 32 postal operators, 32 countries, 32 member states, member countries? What is it? Raise your hands up and tell. And at the end of the session, there will be a UN SDG gift to the most participative person in the class. So, APPU has 32. So, we have member states here and member countries here. What is the fundamental difference? How many members are there in the United Nations? Any idea? We have 174 here. 197? 190? UN. How many? 192? 193 we have. Give him a round of applause, please. We have 193 member states in UN, and how many members in UPU? 192. Which is that missing country? If UN has 193 and UPU has 192, which one is that one missing? USA. No? No?
It's
So-
too wide and it's too wide.
So the fundamental difference is that UN has member states and UPU has member countries. Okay, so there are many states which are not countries as a definition of countries, and it is not just about one country, but it's a mix of 6 or 7. And when it comes to the region also, you will see that we do have non-members of APPU technically present here. It's because postal services in some states are provided by some other countries. Like USPS does provide postal services in some states in the region, etc., etc. All right. So those are slightly technical matters, but we will go ahead with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and we will go ahead with what is the definition of sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Raise your hands. We have the mic. And please do raise your hands to answer the questions. And Kunal, I need your help in marking the points of people who answers. Alright? The first answer was given by Mr. Dev from Nepal.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Sustainable development is a development which remains for a longer time by its own resources. I mean, it remains sustainable. It's not like a project which ended in 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Just keeps going on.
So Madam Noor from Pakistan says sustainable development is something that remains for a longer period
Yeah.
by itself. Right? Any other? Just after Buka.
Sustainable development is development using renewable resources, which means that it can carry on for a long time. Like she said, about using renewable resources.
Okay. Very good answer. Now we have Shivam from India.
Sir, meeting the present needs without endangering the future needs of the generations. That is the sustainable development.
So we have an answer from Shivam. Any other answers? And the closest definition of sustainable development as adopted by UN is what response we had from India. It is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Right? You understand the definition? Development that meets the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And which was the closest answer of three? One round of applause for him. And the point goes to Shiva, the third one. Alright? And Sustainable Development Goals, as Dr. Singh said, came in very recent years with a target of 2030 to achieve. Right? Before Sustainable Development Goals, we had something in the UN system. What was it called? Millennium Development Goals. Alright? And how many Millennium Development Goals were there? 8 Millennium Development Goals. Which were they? Guess?
Zero hunger,
Zero hunger.
poverty, zero poverty,
Okay.
gender equality.
So we had 3.
Can you try writing that so that you can just?
So you told about MDG.
Yes.
One was zero hunger. Right?
Yeah.
Second,
Zero poverty,
zero poverty.
reduction of mortality rate,
Okay. Mortality rate.
gender equality,
Okay. Gender equality. The gas is getting low and low.
education related something I forgot.
Okay. So something related to education, etc. Poverty, she's told, yeah. Poverty, zero poverty, right? Fine. It's a very good answer. Could Anusha your help in giving a point to ma'am also? We had the Millennium Development Goals before the Sustainable Development Goals came into picture, and after that in 2015 the Sustainable Development Goals were adopted, right? And in 2015 when Sustainable Development Goals were adopted, there was a famous statement from the UN sides, which we'll go to that. Before that, Dr. Singh had already mentioned, but still the first one to raise the hand gets the point with the right answer. How many Sustainable Development Goals are there?
17.
The first one from Pakistan. So 1 point to Pakistan. Also, we have 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Alright? And this ring you will be familiar with. Are you? What does this denote? For each development goals, there is a particular color, right? So you have in total 17 colors within the ring, right? And the winner for today is going to get this one only, the SDG lapel that you might have seen some people in the big UN meetings wearing on their suits, right? So this is a gift for the day. Alright, so each color represents one sustainable development goal. Right. So each color will have one meaning, like zero poverty, reducing hunger, etc., etc. Alright, we will go ahead with the class. Which of the following is not a UN SDG? The first to raise hand. The first answer came from Bangladesh. Clean internet. Any other answers? Any other guess? Any bold one in the room? Is it visible to the people in the last line? Sorry? Not full. Okay. That is a feedback. But still you can see. Right? Okay. So you think clean internet is not a part. Can I mention one more point to Bangladesh? Right? Next. In which year was the UN SDG adopted? Raise your hands and answer. From India. 2015. Kunanusha, Miss Dharna from India. Right? So, these were the Millennium Development Goals that we were talking about. Prior to 2015, we had a Millennium Development Goal to achieve, and after that came the Sustainable Development Goals. And as Madam mentioned, eradicate extreme hunger and poverty was one. Alright? This you mentioned, universal education, then gender equality, child mortality, sustainable development, right? The rest three it's a little difficult to guess also. Global partnership for development, improve maternal health, and that was a time when very high focus was given on AIDS, other diseases, etc. So HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. So these 8 comprised the Millennium Development Goals that was meant to be achieved by 2015, right? And by 2015, the countries came together under the umbrella of UN, and they passed the UN Sustainable Development Goals as indicators that they will achieve by 2030. And we have 17 Sustainable Development Goals, but we have different targets to achieve under each goals. And many of the goals are interconnected, like eradicating poverty and hunger, maybe somewhere interconnected, right? So we have achievable targets under UN SDG. Any guess how many targets? 169. 169. Again, the point goes to Bangladesh, right? We have 169 targets, and how many indicators to achieve? How many indicators? Close? 230. Okay, so Nepal again gets another point. So we have around 230 indicators to be achieved by 2030. Like all major international organizations do come up with their KPIs like that. They have some major goals and some deliverables to be achieved by a particular time period, right? Like in case of APPU, we have kept like 5 strategic pillars, the 5 major things, and after that we have around 105 work plans to be achieved over a period of 4 years. That amounts to 405 deliverables. So that is how all major international organizations work. You have some broad outline. After that you have deliverables, targets to be achieved over a period of 4 years, 15 years, etc., right? So we go ahead after erasing this. We go to the Sustainable Development Goals. Now I request you to take a piece of paper and attempt writing what are the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 in number, without the help of internet, in a fair game. Without the help of internet. We'll give you just 3-4 minutes. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals, starting with this color.
Search nữa, mọi search nữa. Search Google này. Nó Sustainable Development Goal này. Google lên. Search ăn đây chắc muốn cái Safari nữa. Safari nó trao. Search vài nhập viện không? How many Sustainable Goal nó chạy đi vào. tên này bỏ
chó nó mẹ alo miền nọ về động pal miền xa
cái xây
remember Junda
à cái suy cái
Nini subscribe cô lên bên chân vào đây học muốn thằng cái
No internet, please.
no internet
nẹp people là nẹp nè nhớ luôn đấy
một bọt đây
oh people hai mình này nè people là nẹp
All right. Time's up.
partnership
Good.
declare introduction
Okay, because we don't have that much time also, let's wind it up over here. There is one thing that we do say to the participants who come here, your general behavior will be evaluated like your country's behavior, right? We all represent our countries over here. So in a fair game, without using internet, tell us, what are the sustainable development goals? Without internet, right? And anyway, internet is not a sustainable development goal.
without internet
nè
without internet
Yes.
no internet
13. The mic, please.
cái lửa mới kia on mở kẹt trong
Yes. Take a right 13.
mình đi siêu tiền
It's education for all.
Education for all.
Zero hunger, no poverty. One is related to health, climate change, technical partnership for technical assistance, life POC, housing for all, no slums, employment for all. One is related to agriculture, one is related to industry, gender equality, and about communication.
That's a very good answer. Please give a round of applause. And primarily, one thing that surprised me is life underwater, which generally people do not guess, right? Second was from Bangladesh.
dịch cái bọt
I couldn't write all. One is zero poverty, zero hunger, health and well-being, life underwater, clean cities, gender equality, water and sanitation, better water and sanitation, what is renewable energy or affordable energy, and economic growth and employment opportunity, and innovation and industrial development, climate change and partnerships in development.
That's a great answer. And the last one.
No poverty, zero hunger, health, quality education, gender inequality, decent work, clean energy, clean drinking water, innovation, industrialization and infrastructure, reduce all inequalities, likewise sustainable city, consumption, it's about consumption, the next one, and global partnership, likewise life below water, diversity in the land, and likewise solidarity.
All three of them gave very good answers. Please. Right? So we go to the exact answer. These are the 17 sustainable development goals. Please have a look at it.
Too small. Can we zoom it? No.
We will zoom in.
Can we zoom it?
Right?
How is it better?
Let us Can we zoom? Right.
2 kW
These are clear?
làm lên
In the last, please have a look. Which one did we miss? Peace, justice, we missed. Reduced inequalities, we missed.
Life on land.
Life on, we said about life underwater, but forgot about life on land.
phải đặt
Then,
thứ hai lột hết
responsible consumption, we forgot. Then, surprisingly, partnership for the goals came in, which many other classes do not tell in the regular sessions. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. Someone said that answer, right? And in this, affordable and clean energy, did we mention? Yes. And innovation also we mentioned. Decent work we didn't mention. Close to that you mentioned. Clean water and sanitation? No.
Yes, I said.
Okay. And responsible consumption and production? No. You did. Okay. Perfect. So I think in fairness, all three of them deserve 1 mark each. Kunanuja, 1 for Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Nepal. So he has already marked. Okay, let's go. Please do keep this picture in your mind. We will require it later. Okay? Just to read it out: no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice and strong institutions, and partnership for the goals. All these 17 items, the 17 colors, form a part of this UN SDG symbol. Alright? Quickly go to 2 questions after this. The first to say, please raise your hand and tell the answer.
You can zoom the question.
We will zoom the question.
C1.
C. Any other answer? Only C? Pakistan has a different opinion? Okay, it's C. Alright? So Nepal gave the answer first, so a point goes to Nepal. And can you explain what do we mean by applicable to all countries while respecting national context? What do you mean by that?
Customizing according to the need of country.
Like?
Different countries have different local conditions. So applying these SDG goals, 17 SDG goals according to the need of country, so that it will be the future need of people can be made safe while utilizing the present.
Exactly. Please give. Every country is currently at different levels of development, right? So to give the same target for every country will be practically impossible, because of which these goals are universal in nature. It applies to all countries, territories, but they do respect the national context, right? And going to the next question before let me zoom in first. Before this. Okay. Of the 17 SDGs, how many of them are directly related to the post? Bangladesh says 12. The SG had already answered it in his opening speech. So the point goes to Bangladesh. Now we have a tight competition, and which 12 are they? Rather, which 5 are not directly applicable to the post? Take 1 minute, and whoever finishes first, raise your hand and answer.
Question is the five which are not.
The 5 which are not applicable.
Sustainable cities and
Light blue water, light blue water.
No, one each. Please raise your hand and answer. You did first.
11,
You say 11.
14, 15,
Just 1 second. 11,
14, 15, 7,
14, 15,
7,
7,
6,
6. So you have already 5. Right? Second was India. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yes.
So apart from these, whatever has been mentioned, or
Do you have any difference of opinion from what she said? She said 6. Sorry.
7, 6, 7.
Mark it again.
She said 5, 7.
No, 6,
No,
7.
6.
Okay, you said 6 also.
Not 5, not 5.
Okay, sorry. What happened was that when we zoomed in, it all went. So you said
6, 7,
6,
7,
7,
14, 15,
14, 15.
12, I said, or maybe 12, say, I forgot. 12.
12. So, do you have a difference in opinion?
Sir, 12 is not, as per me, 12 should not be there. 11, sustainable cities and communities,
You said that should not be there.
that should not be there.
Okay, and which
12.
one should be there?
So 12 should be there.
You said 12 should be there. Okay.
And third, sir, good health and well-being. It is also should not be there.
Should not be there. Now you are stepping into controversial territory,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
one more you have to remove.
Sir, zero hunger.
You are stepping into really controversial territory now. Right? So, next is Pakistan first, and after that we will come to you, ma'am.
I think 15 should not be included.
You think?
15 is related to post.
You say
Like
15?
on land. Post we are on land.
Okay. Of course, we do look for clean water and sanitation, but we are talking about how post office is directly related in achieving this sustainable development goal.
Yeah, I agree to like what she has mentioned, but my objection is just related to the SDG 15.
Okay, and instead, which one do you think?
So, I like so many have been marked. I could not like say this should be included. I think 17 is also related to post.
No, she said 17 is related to
Oh,
post.
okay.
You are answering which one of them is not related to the post.
15.
You said 15.
15 is related to post.
Okay, in that case, one becomes not related to post. Which one is that?
I think E-water quality.
Okay,
Actually, I can't.
you can't.
So, without disturbing the marking.
Okay,
Marking is disturbed. Yeah.
marking already got disturbed.
Can't we save the marking before you?
We have to
Can
take
we
it.
save the
You
marking?
can capture the screen.
Okay.
We can take it
Yes,
for.
and I think it's better for capture the screen first.
So we are testing the screen, let us tell them how to save it.
Yes.
And send to the whiteboard.
Okay, you have set it to the whiteboard, right? Fine. But that was a wrong shot. We'll have to little more zoom in. Can we go back to the PPT?
Now it's clear now.
Now it's more clear to you, right? was it? Okay.
Cái này bây giờ mọi người đi xem. Nè. Đi mua em luôn.
That's fine. Yes.
Của tiệc phí.
Fine. So you had an opinion that life on land should be there. Instead, which one would you like to remove? Okay. Okay. So we cater to the needs of everyone. So she said this is
6, 7, 12, 14,
16,
you think 16 should not be there,
we have.
right? Okay, so we have answer from Pakistan and to you, ma'am. To you, neighbor. No. Okay. Last one. Any difference from what Bangladesh said?
Yeah, I feel clean energy is necessary. Clean energy, for clean energy, the postal sector can contribute. We can use the renewable source of energy, so we can contribute for that. So that should be in the goal. So for me, it's 1 to 12, 14 and 15.
1?
1 to 12, 14 and 15.
Okay, 1 to 12, and you want to take it off 13, 14, 16 and 17, right?
12, 14, 15.
12, 14, 15. You have to take it out, right? So let's go to the answer and see who was correct. These are the 12.
I was correct.
Were you?
Yeah, I said 6, 7, 12, 14, 15 should not be there.
One round. And that takes us to the next exercise. Rather, okay, just to give clarity, number 6, 7, 12, 14, 15. 6, 7, 12, 14 and 15 are not directly related to the post as far as achievement.
So you can read out again the ones which are related so that it is reinforced in the
Sure. So the ones that are related are no poverty, right? Zero hunger, good health and well-being, and the reason why I told you India regarding your point was that good health and well-being, lot many posts are involved in, right? Especially post-COVID. Especially post-COVID, many of our postal operators were so directly involved in good health and well-being, right? No poverty also, zero hunger also, of course, quality education, gender equality, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities. When we say reduced inequalities, it spans over different things. It's not just about gender, across the geography, across age, how to reduce inequalities, right? Sustainable cities and communities, climate action, peace, justice and strong institutions and partnership for the goals, These are the 12 indicators in which post offices around the world play a direct role. Now let me go to the question, how many of your posts do publish a sustainability report? On an annual basis or on a timely basis, does any of your posts publish your progress on UN SDGs?
We have a small section in the annual report of course, but not different magazine or different.
Okay, so they have a portion in the annual report on the contribution of Bangladesh Post towards achieving UN SDG. Any other post? None of you have, right? So it is a good idea when you go back to suggest that it should be there as a part of your annual report or as a separate document, which is not very difficult, is what we will demonstrate in the next few minutes. All of your posts are directly or indirectly contributing towards achieving all these 12 sustainable development goals. The only place where you lack is documenting it and bringing it into one document, that what are you doing towards achieving UN SDGs, right? So let's go ahead. This is the next task for 5 minutes, just to brush yourself up. Of the 12 SDGs that we mentioned, choose 5 SDGs and please write down what does your post do towards achieving them. Once, it may be a product, it may be a service done by your post, it can be certain initiative of your post office. So choose any of the 5 UN SDGs that is related to the post and write down what is your post doing towards achieving this. The 12 SDGs you have on the screen.
Nhưng bạn này thôi cụ thể là cái đặc sĩ định chọn như kẻ tôi.
And to every country sitting over here, we will be asking that question. So please take a piece of paper and write it down.
Thì cuốn có cái đặc sĩ sinh như học mình còn ăn thật được chọn. Có cái đặc sĩ sinh mình chọn mình
cái
đi
sinh
tóc
ở
màu
miền tây dưới ban là tiếp theo tây miền sài có thời ca và ban trên viên ban là trên equality tây
no problem poverty no poverty nó là gì no lấy môi dục nó là gì
no problem nè thì rồi là
nó còn 200 này
là thấy order everywhere nói cái gì đâu khi chụp nó còn nói gì tới lại trên hồ.
And once you are done, please raise your hands. Bangladesh 1. I can tell you, you will have all 12. Just think about the 5th one also. And Bangladesh is one country which gets reflected even in the UPU UN SDG report.
You know, man, and say it. So,
cái gì nó được con dân đồng bằng hay bóng kì.
Anyone who is done, please raise your hands. We have one. All 5.
Cái số đường con dân được tụ bạn ấy có bây giờ đủ anh rồi.
Khoai gồ chứ mà nhỉ?
Mình tắt phái bạn phái tắt tay rồi còn can be off can achieve phái gồ from.
So now let me randomly call out the name of countries. Perhaps those people who have not been very active till now. First, let us hear from Vietnam. 5 SDGs and what your post is doing.
You can take the
Yes.
số sáng rồi không? No.
Flying is Vietnam Post and Hero is no productive, decent work and economic growth.
Decent work and economic growth, what are you doing?
We invest modern machine to increase the workhouse for people.
So they have a policy where they keep the work hours optimum to provide good quality of life to their staff, right?
Yeah.
And when we say about workforce, Asian Pacific region has something very particular. We have around more than half of the global postal workforce within all these 32 countries, right? You might have gone through the statistics, the latest UPU statistics. If you go through the UPU documents, you will see things particular about Asian Pacific region is that we cater to 2/3 of the world population. Of course, Asian Pacific region is the most populated part of the world. So around 2/3 of the global population is here. More than half of the postal workforce comes from this region. More than half of the global postal mail get generated from our region, and around 1/3 of the permanent post offices in the world are situated in the Asian Pacific region. Alright, so one effort of Vietnam Post is to optimize the working hours to provide good quality life to their workforce. Perfect. Another one?
Good quality.
One is industry and innovation and infrastructure.
Okay, so number 9, what do you do?
Maybe we innovate the process of decrease the process to increase the work.
The cost.
Yes.
You have reduced the cost for promoting.
Yes, the delivery to the other moving in Vietnam, so we decrease the cost delivery.
Okay, so Vietnam Post has decreased the cost, right?
Yeah.
To achieve SDG number 9. Next we go to Indonesia. Anyone from Indonesia? Okay.
Select no.
So Rizka has an answer.
Chọn cái ăn làm sao?
Nó bị trường lại
Number
bán
4.
cho luôn chừng
Number 4.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Quality education. We have given some scholarship for magister degree to our employees.
Okay.
And number 5.
Okay.
Tại
We
cũng
have a
micro
lot
in
of women sitting in the top managerial position.
Okay, top management. Is it reserved or is it happened by chance? Or is some post reserved for women? Are the posts in top management, is it only for women or? Okay, it happens, right.
And then number 9, industry innovation and infrastructure.
Okay.
Post Indonesia developed new like mobile banking.
Mobile banking. Post bank.
Yeah.
Không
Okay.
nghĩ là một bài banking.
Đấy, nó tròn tròn.
Online
Tại
payment.
mấy là một bài tài chính rồi cách tôn và bank transfer đấy.
Okay, you have a mobile banking for money transfer,
Biết
bank,
là
etc.
tìm vậy
Right?
còn em
One more.
micro rồi.
Peace,
Rồi bên
justice,
tìm vậy
and
nữa.
strong
Được
institution.
dùng
Yes.
dành mấy
We
cách tôn
have
và
an
càng nhiều
application
nhìn
called
thôi.
whistleblower
Đây
system
cũng
for
hai
every
đây
employee.
được gọi thì xử lý đây là
Okay, that is something unique. They have something called a whistleblower application. And what does that application do?
If there's something suspicious,
Okay.
they can make
They can give an alert on that.
and they can make a report.
Okay, so and that is a part of your mobile application or is it separate
Yeah.
application? Okay,
Nó thì đâu thì cái
fine, great. One more.
choose inequality.
Fine. Good. So we go to the first person who raised the hands. Okay.
Number 5.
Sir, for health, as you mentioned that during COVID we were involved in transportation of ventilators and medicines in the building.
Before I mentioned, you were the person who mentioned that we don't do anything for health. Yes. Yes,
Apart from that,
sir.
renewable energy, sir, we have.
No, for health, what do you do?
Sir,
Headquarter.
during COVID, sir.
Headquarter.
Anytime. What does India Post do to achieve indicator number 3?
Sir, we were involved in transportation of ventilators, medicines, life-saving drugs during
Hãy nhìn thì
COVID-19.
vậy cũng
Okay.
That is
biết
for
là slur đi
an
vậy
example of
bấm như vậy
the
nhưng
things
mà
that we are doing for achieving the
Còn
target.
vậy là
Number, okay.
thành
Sir,
sẽ là
for
vô
generic
link vào
equality, right from the GDS level and bottom level to the top level, we have participation from women.
tức là
Còn
We
một
have
micro,
all women post offices
còn một
in,
micro
for example, in my division there are two
đặc biệt
post
là
offices
phi
which
xa
are all
Việt Nam
women post offices.
nào chỉ xa
Okay.
đá mình
So they have all women post
còn
offices
khi
where
đi
only
của
lady
anh
staff attends to, right?
tại cái chân
Then,
chết
Sir, then there is a scheme of government of India which India Post is implementing, that is the Sukanya Samriddhi scheme, and now the recently launched scheme is there, Mahila Samman Saving Certificates.
mình xây đặt
So from the saving bank side, this is one aspect that we are doing for gender equality.
for gender equality, they have different schemes for girl child, where in the name of girl child you can invest small amounts, and by the time the baby becomes an adult, the money becomes a huge corpus and is given back to the person, right? One more.
Sir, for zero hunger, right now we are in talks with the state government of Gujarat for ration distribution for PDS, and sir, in Delhi we were involved in distribution of the fortified product for Chhattisgarh PDS. public
mình
distribution
ao
system.
à
So for public distribution system, post offices distribute food all over the country or state. Is example they give. And any one last
biết
person
tay
would
dương
like
như
to
bạn ơi chúng ta sáng
give
đến
an example. It comes from Pakistan.
mười tập trên tập
And we go to Bangladesh and we wind it up because your time is also nearing.
Okay, so first is related to zero hunger, zero poverty. It is like Pakistan Post has different collaborations or contract with like Benazir Income Support Program, Travel
Kim
Mall,
Ngọc còn là nhân
and
viên
Young
thường
Body,
ca
other money on Benazir Income Support
Năm nay
Program
sân.
fund, and
cái
Reservoir
thông
to
tục
the,
ấy chẳng
especially to the women
hư là nó
like
chuyện
who have
nó
no
nó
source
chỉ
of
cần
income.
Okay.
And the second is that related to the good health, like we have postal dispensaries in our metropolitan cities, and we are providing medicines to our staff, especially the staff who is a chronic patient.
Okay.
And another is a doorstep delivery of medicines to the general public.
Is it only during COVID or even now?
Even now.
Even now, you
Yes.
okay.
And then related to the recent work, like we have recently revamping our DMOs, like maid offices, sorting centers, and our post offices to provide a good environment to our own staff.
Okay.
And about 16
Thì sợ
SDG, we have committees for harassment at workplace.
Okay. Not for harassment, for prevention of harassment at work.
The gender equality, like we have quota for underprivileged area, for disabled, gender basis, like on every basis we have quota for all in our workforce. So this is about related to gender equality.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And last, do you want to say anything that is not related to any of the examples said by people till now? We do understand that you will be heavily involved in no poverty, zero hunger, good health, etc., etc. Any one or two examples that you would like to present so that others in the room are aware of your initiatives, right?
Actually, we have some activities for the Sustainable Development Goal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will not repeat what everyone said, but we have activities in the gender equality. Like we have quota for women driver in postal departments to the postal vans. So we are the first government organization who have 50% quota for the women driver and postal services.
50%?
Yeah, in the big cities, like for the
In big cities, 50% of the postal
Women,
vehicles
yeah,
in
we have-
Bangladesh
yeah.
are driven by women.
Women, yes,
Great.
postal vans and cars and everything in the big cities.
Okay.
And we, for quality education, we are piloting a project which is called Dark Path. It's a online platform for skill development. Like there are different courses like project management, financial management, taxing, and everything. So we can just learn from that. So these are two unique projects.
Okay.
And there are a lot of other projects.
Fine. So thanks a lot for everyone who shared your experience. Now you will understand that many of the items every one of us do, but a point that we do not do is to document all these things, right? Under different sustainable development goals. That is something, a takeaway that you can take back to your country when you leave this course, because it doesn't take much of a time or effort to do that thing. For reference, you can go to the UPU website, the Universal Postal Union website, where they have documented different efforts from our region and beyond on sustainability development goals, which we will be covering in the next couple of 2 or 3 minutes. That's it. So the 5 you have already told. On no poverty, the example that UPU cites is that of Bangladesh. They do distribute money orders, etc., postal financial services to take people out of poverty, right? And they have something called a postal cash card. Can you please explain what is it?
Postal cash card is basically a debit card, but you can open it by 45 taka, and you can keep your money there, and you can withdraw whatever time you want. It will only take 5 taka for the transaction, much lower than the other bank cards. And also we, government provides the different social security schemes and the scholarships for the girl childs and the mothers and the older people in our country through this card. So it's used for mainly in the rural areas.
Okay, perfect. So we have example from Bangladesh for no poverty. Second, we go to Zero Hunger, Korea, where they have provided ITC services for e-marketplaces. The e-marketplace through post office is a common feature in many of our countries. There is an example from Maldives, it's called e-Tukuri. Can you please tell them what is it?
e-Tukuri is a marketplace for local producers where we help them to market and sell their products through the nationwide and as well as through the international market. So it's a small medium enterprises a good opportunity to market their products and buy their customers.
So we have an example from Maldives called e-Tukuri, which is specially targeted towards SME promotion, etc., where people can put their small products in the website, which is backed by Maldives Post, and it can be shipped all over the country as well as abroad. In a way related to Zero Hunger, because it provides livelihood to many people. Alright. Next, good health and well-being. Particular examples come from Japan, but not sticking to this example because almost every one of us have done something or the other. The scales may be different during COVID period, right? And Japan, this even started before COVID because Japan is generally an aging society. The number of older people in the society is higher than younger people, so they have different products and services tailored towards catering to the needs of elderly population, right? In Japan, they have a service called Caring for the Elders, where suppose if you are abroad and if you have to take care of your parents, you can pay to the post office and the postman will visit your parents at frequent intervals, will check their well-being and report it back. You got it? Suppose you are abroad, like you are in Bangkok now, you can pay to the post office, ask the postman to go and check your parents or elderly people at your home on a frequent basis. They will go, meet them, ask about their well-being and report it back to you, right? So there are different services in our region and beyond for good health and well-being. Quality education, the example came from UK, but many of us are also involved in distribution of books. We have our own portals, like in India we have, you mentioned about a portal to educate the postal staff, etc. Right? And we do take part in distance education drives. Many of the post offices are directly or indirectly related in conduct of examinations, etc. etc. Right, going to the next example, gender equality. Here we have the example of Australia, but the best part is that many posts in our region has around half of their workforce women. The example that came from Bangladesh, half of the drivers in urban parts of the country driving a postal van is a women staff, right? Which may be an example that many of you didn't know till now. Alright? Decent work and economic growth. Again, the experience is from e-commerce technology platforms provided by various post offices to promote e-commerce. Do you have any highly successful model other than E23? Like in China, do you have any examples of e-commerce? Does the post do something like a e-marketplace or something like that? Macau, because China generates huge volumes of e-commerce. We have an example from Iran over here. Okay, nothing that you can tell of them. Okay. But China Post is involved in huge exports of e-commerce from China to different parts of the world. They have their own fleet of around how many flights?
Over airplanes?
Yes.
We have 32 airplanes.
So 32 airplanes only for China Post, right? You're on airplanes. So that's the amount of e-commerce that goes out of the country, within the country. Industry, innovation and infrastructure. We have the example from Botswana, where internet access is provided in post offices, helping people to take full leverage of internet. It's not only an example of Botswana. Many of our countries do have something what we call the common service centers. Digital service centers in Bangladesh, common service centers in India. Any other example you would like to show? Where internet is provided in post offices. Common citizen in Pakistan, where people can walk into the post office, get government or other services available through post office, right? Next, reduced inequalities. Armenia, they show an example called Shop in America. Many countries are there who do not have a industry on their own because of various restrictions on natural resources. Many countries depend on other countries for items to come into their own territories. So Armenia is an example where the post office has developed something called Shop in America, a website in which they can import items made in America, right? Some other countries in our region do have such websites, not naming. Going ahead, sustainable cities and communities. After earthquake, after natural disasters, many of our post offices do play a major role in the restoration of the society after natural calamities, etc. One example other than this I can give you is that of Japan, where Japan keeps a database of addresses of people situated in a particular area. So if there is a natural calamity in one particular area, they have the database of all people living over there, and government can step in to help the people suffering from any kind of natural disaster or calamity, etc. Going ahead, climate action. Perfect examples come from Switzerland, where they have something called e-post office. Instead of printing something and transmitting to some other place, they use an e-post office service to digitally send items from one part of the country to the other. Alright? Peace, justice and strong institutions. Morocco launched something called Barrett e-sign. This is a variant of, in registered post we put signature, right? They have e-registered post kind of a thing. Where through this application, this portal, they can e-sign, and that required a national registration to come into picture. So that is example from Morocco of e-Barrett e-sign. Last, Brazil, partnership for the goals, where Brazil Post has used ICT services to partner with MSMEs, governments in other countries, etc., to build up strong institutions for partnership for the goals. So these are examples. Now we go towards the end of the class. These are the examples from different parts of the world. Many of you are already doing all these things. So we move towards the end. Some activities that we suggest to other countries is to encourage your post to publish SDGs, what you are already doing, maybe a part of your annual report, or maybe you can send in articles to APPU. We do have something called our monthly newsletters. We can publish your articles, or maybe we can reach your articles to UPU website, etc. So if there is anything significant that you wish to project to the world outside, please do that. Second thing is that APPU will publish an item on the role of post offices in the region in achieving the UN SDGs in the near future. So please feel free to contribute articles from your country also to that. Right? So with this, we come to the end of the class, and I request Kunanucha to announce the name of the winner.
Okay, nominees are from the participation of the country Bangladesh, India, Indonesia, Pakistan, Nepal, Vietnam, and Maldives, and then the winner go to Bangladesh, 6 points.
And I request the Secretary General to pass on this small token of love on SDGs to the participant from Bangladesh, please.
So I think from today onwards, you can wear it in the class till the last week and back home also.
Okay, see.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am. So with this, we come to the end of the class, and that's my email ID if you would like to communicate later on any of the points that we discussed over here or otherwise. Please feel free to ping, and that's it. So you have been a wonderful audience. Thanks for your active participation. Thank you. And I'll take just 2 minutes of your time. Any feedback that you would like to give with respect to the smart classroom features?
That is required.